Very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us right here on the Day's Counter. As usual, it is midweek and I'm your host, Allan Owino. Remember, you can communicate with us on all our social media platforms. That's at TV47KE with the hashtag The Day's Counter. But for now, let's jump in straight to the top stories. Local top retailers, including Naivas and Tuskys, have walked off a hike in the prices of consumer goods such as clothing, furniture, mobile and fridges as effects of the coronavirus takes toll on the supply chain. The retailers who shipped in goods in bulk in January say they will start to run out of goods imported from China in under 3 weeks. The virus has killed more than 2,900 people in China, causing a shutdown that has seen factories close down, hurting the global supply chain in the country that fed Kenya with 20.2% of its exports last year. And moving on to the next story, a survey by the World Bank shows that businesses owned by women have a big investment impact as opposed to those owned by men, as they are more custom focused. In Kenya, the farm level profits earned by female entrepreneurs represent on average 65% of their household income, while these businesses mainly employ women. The women-owned businesses also have an edge in innovation due to the numerous customer engagements so as to establish their special needs. And as we wrap up the top stories for today, communication powerhouse Safaricom has enabled its post-paid customers purchasing bundles to make international calls to the US, India, China, and Canada at a rate of 5 shillings per minute. The move enables more spending options for its customers, as initially one could only use the bundles to make local calls, with the international ones being billed separately. The new plans will be available on a 30 days basis, with any unused resources rolling over to the following month. And that's what we had for you on the top stories. For now, let's have a look at the business voices.
In Africa requires being extremely tenacious, not giving up, because there are all sorts of obstacles and hurdles. However, if you're focused, you're tenacious, you're resourceful, you think about how to get around solutions that are difficult to crack immediately, and you're professional, you have integrity, I think that you will get there. I think Africa is a great place with so many opportunities. Yes, there are challenges, there are obstacles, but the opportunities far outweigh that. So come and go with us. Thank you.
All right, let's jump straight into the business news for today. The global economic crime rates have been reducing in the recent years, according to a biannual survey done by the PricewaterhouseCoopers Limited. According to the survey, the prevalence of economic crimes in Kenya has decreased to 58% as compared to 2018, when the rate was at 75%. The results of the survey showed that bribery and corruption and procurement fraud were the most economic type of crimes experienced by the organizations, mostly in Kenya. However, most organizations seem to incorporate technology so as to fight crime.
Economic crimes are of interest to most of us, as they have an impact on businesses and organizations in various ways. The percentage of those reporting economic crimes or experiencing economic crimes over the last 2 years has gone down compared to when we did it in 2018.
At a global level, we have noted that nearly half the respondents experienced one form of economic crime or the other over the past 24 months. It is that bribery and corruption remains a key concern. But this is not isolated to Kenya, because we've looked at what the trends are across globally and also across Africa. We had 3 countries generating country-specific reports in Africa, and what we've noted is a pattern or a trend of bribery and corruption going up. For instance, South Africa bribery and corruption level went up from 30% to 42%, exactly the same experience as Kenya. And in Uganda, it went up from 32% to 46%. So bribery and corruption has also been reported by Kenyan organizations as one of the most disruptive and costliest form of economic crime. And the same case applies to procurement fraud.
But we also know that the most effective way of tackling economic crimes is to, number one, set the right tone at the top. so that the culture of ownership and responsibility permeates in the organizations, and that every person then in that organization takes responsibility to safeguard the limited resources that are put under their care.
A bit of some good news over there as the rate of economic crimes has decreased in Kenya. We hope that continues on the same trajectory. Let's move on to the next story. The Kenya Association of Travel Agents, CATA, today provided an update on the effect of coronavirus to the travel industry. The coronavirus has caused unprecedented disruption in the aviation and travel industry, leading to the cancellation of flights and rescheduling of passenger travel in recent months. Early indications show that there was a decline of 6% in traveler bookings for February and 10% to date in March. Let's move on. Microsoft, through its Microsoft for Startups initiative, announced the launch of its global social entrepreneurship program, which has benefits aimed at elevating startups addressing an important social and environmental challenge through their products, service, or operations. Take a look.
Today at CoOp Forum, we're launching the Global Social Entrepreneurship Program here in Nairobi, Kenya. It's a global program that will be supporting social entrepreneurs worldwide, focusing primarily on areas of key need, including health, agriculture, humanitarian action, disability, sustainability, all with the aim of making sure that we as Microsoft are living a mission which is to empower every person and every individual and organization to achieve more. And as part of our commitments, today the program will actually go to support social entrepreneurs in their endeavor to grow their businesses. Some of the offerings that we have under the program include mentorship, it includes go-to-market support, and more importantly, the technical support and ability to help them drive access to customer base and markets as well. So this program is actually global. It's a global program that was launched earlier in the week by our CEO, and it will actually be available and currently up and running across the world.
Well, we'd love to revisit a story that we gave you earlier on. We've just received the story right now, so if I may just go through it. The Kenya Association of Travel Agents, CATA, today provided an update on the effect of coronavirus to the travel industry. The coronavirus has caused unprecedented disruption in the aviation and travel industry, leading to cancellation of flights and rescheduling of passenger travel in recent months. Early indications show that there was a decline of 6% in traveler bookings for February and 10% to date in March. Take a look.
To extend my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones to this novel coronavirus across the world. The coronavirus has caused unprecedented disruption in the aviation and travel industry, leading to cancellation of flights and rescheduling of passengers who have traveled in recent months. We have also observed a cancellation of major conventions and events in major cities, leading to major decline in passenger numbers and revenue for both the travel agents and the airlines. Early indications show that there was a decline of 6% in travel bookings for February and 10% to date in March.
The first time the client gets or corporate gets this information is it has a stop or a ban to travel unless necessary. So what happens is we now able to go back and say, inter-Africa travel is safe. So just do business as usual. Don't need to stop because of this coronavirus. So that's what the travel agencies are basically trying to do as far as the client engagement is concerned.
The goal here is to support the travel and growth of businesses within our country. And as we do that, you were specifically asking how we're going to support them within Africa. We're already engaging with airlines to ensure that they're able to continue to meet the demand. They continue to provide the highest level of standards, safety standards within travel in Africa, and also maintain or review fares, airline fares, so that it doesn't become unaffordable for travel within Africa.
Intra-Africa travel appears to remain stable. We anticipate the travel restriction and advisory to be temporary measures to contain the coronavirus.
All right, the coronavirus has definitely turned into an epidemic, and I hope this will be sorted out locally and internationally in due time. Let's now move on to the next story. Eyebrow shaping is the grooming of the eyebrows, typically by plucking tweezing or waxing to suit the facial features. The three main techniques used by beauty salons to shape your eyebrows are waxing, threading, and electrolysis. This art is a business that has sustained a young entrepreneur in the central business district of Nairobi. Let's take a look.
In the busy, bustling streets of Nairobi, businesses crop up every day. However, for one unique entrepreneur who goes by the name of Kim, with as little as 2,000 shillings, which he started his business 8 years ago, he makes up to 15,000 Kenya shillings on one customer. His business? Shaping eyebrows.
I'm Kim. I'm a beautician. I specialize in eyebrows and lashes. Okay, eyebrows. Ni kitu nasema kulingana na lifestyle yangu. Okay, ni kitu hata niko kole, si kitu gharamia vitu mingi, sababu kitu ya kwanza mimi nilipeleka kole. Sasa vitu kama hizo sana nikaona socha ni eyebrows, sababu hata capital si kubwa kuanzisha. Job ni moba, sasa umetokea nje kwa mtaa, usikai huko kwa mtaa. Natokea nje. That's how long in terms of my youth. Unatokea tu mtaa unasaidika tu, kuna job ni mob. As long as umejitoa huko kwa mtaa umekuja tu. Hata job ni mob.
I've been coming here for many years. Na napenda his customer service. It's very nice. And then anafanya kazi poa. Yeah. Very time nilifanywa na female ilikuwa kabla nijue about threading. So penye nilikuwa naenda salon, nilikuwa nikimaliza kutengenezwa nywele ndio natengenezwa na wembe. So nikapawa, alikuwa referral. So nikajua hapa tangu nijue threading sijui fanywa na wembe. So ni hard to compare between yeye na female because female ilikuwa wembe. But sasa ukicompare the two, threading iko juu. So sijui fanywa threading na female tangu nijua hapa imekuwa tu hapa. Yes.
Okay, kwangu na prefer threading. So threading kitu ya kwanza inakuanga in terms of hygiene iko sawa sana. Kitu kingine ni long lasting compared to other types of method of kushape eyebrows. So kitu advantage ni ina last for long. Second thing inakuanga inatoa shape poa. Terms ya kushape. Then that thing inakuanga yani customer anapenda kitu kama tattoo iko poa. Hiyo pia sisi tunaifanya. Na kuna zingine bado zinakuja latest. Latest kabisa, kuna zingine zinakaa brows kabisa. Na kuongezea nywele. Hiyo bado tunafanya. Kuna ombre tunafanya. So hizo in terms of ziko class ya tattoo. So hizo ziko poa. Lakini kitu kama wembe once you compare wembe na threading, wembe iko built in sababu once umenywa na wembe after a few days inaanza kupop out. Lakini threading inakaa for about 2 to 3 weeks ama 4 weeks. So wembe compare wembe na uzi iko poa.
Oh my gosh, whoa, that is actually quite painful. And considering that I had previously done my eyebrows with a razor, which he said is not advisable, he's now doing it the proper way, which is threading. And we'll see the end or finished product. It looks good. I wish I had more hair on my face. But for now, let's just finish up this process, and I hope it's just not going to be as painful again.
On my page on IG, I'm Kim.Brows. Look at the picture and follow me.
This has been Kim's business, located in the heart of Nairobi. With as little as 2,000 Kenya shillings, you can begin your entrepreneurial journey and actually make serious profits. Lucy Riley, Nairobi.
Very interesting piece from our very own Lucy Riley, and judging from the story that she's given us, I bet it's safe to say what a lady can do, a man can do better. All right, before we take a break, let's jump into the What's New segment before we take this break. The TouchJet is a device that is mounted to the top of your television screen and provides one with a simulated touchscreen experience across the screen. This literally means you can have a tablet in your household that's 50-inch in size. Interesting, right? The whole concept behind the device was to enable classroom and boardroom presentations easier and affordable, as one does not necessarily have to invest in heavy, expensive touchscreen devices to achieve the same purpose. The product first launched on Indiegogo and can now be seen in boardrooms all across the world. The gadget retails on Amazon for around $370 but can vary depending with the vendor. And that's it on What's New this week. Alright, that was the TouchJet on our What's New segment. It's a very interesting piece of device. It actually allows you to turn your screen into a touch screen. Imagine having a 50-inch screen and just turning it into a touch screen. Amazing stuff that the tech can do for you. All right, at this point, let's take a short break, but don't go away. When we return, we'll be discussing matters renewable energy with regards to the pay-as-you-go platform. Remember, you can keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms. That's at TV47KE with the hashtag BaseCounter. Let's take a break.
Peterson, tumefutwa wote.
Yawa, pia wewe?
Tumeachiliwa.
Si pia wewe unaweza anzisha biashara yako?
Na hii economy venye iko tough sana.
But not too tough for Mwananchi Credit.
Tutafanya aje?
Si niko na 5 good cars. We can get a quick logbook loan approved within 6 hours.
Nataka kuanzisha salon na spa. Hii haitatosa.
Si tuko na title deed spare. We can still get more money using them. Get a quick approval within 6 hours using your logbook or title deed. Do not get stuck. Call Mwananchi Credit today. Si nilikuambia.
You are a big smart joke.
Mwananchi Credit. Investor in people.
Welcome to Woodland Resort, carefully positioned in a tranquil environment to give guests an almost private stay with the advantage of being in a serene and spoiled surroundings. We have a tailored, bespoke and transparent travel itinerary that are personalized with individual guest preference. Our well-trained, warm and friendly service personnel attend to guests, offering them fresh traditional meals sourced locally and matched with our chef's culinary skills to ensure consistent and rushes feedback from our clients. Woodland Resort, for comfort and elegance. Located in the outskirts of Kitale town, Kitale-Webuye Road, opposite St. Joseph's Boys, Kitale.
Of which I'm certain, for what is a man?
For half price, $30 million US. $30 million from me. What do you want?
Get on your knees! You have 3 seconds to comply. 1, 2, 3.
If you wanted me, bro.
Kwa wakati mmoja alikuwa na uzani wa kilo 130, ila kwa sasa ni mmoja wa viongozi waliofiti zaidi, kwani amezingatia zoezi la lishe bora.
And that 130 kilos, there was no element of muscle at all. So you can imagine 130 kilos mainly of fat.
Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir, ndoto yake ilikuwa kuwa rubani, ila kwa sasa yupo kwa siasa na uongozi.
I started aviation, and even that, but that is something that I still want to pursue.
Ungana nami Elizabeth Matuko katika Mfahamu Kiongozi, tukiangazia maisha yake.
right, thank you very much for staying with us right here on the Days Counter. If you're joining us right now, remember the platform that you can use to communicate with us. It's at TV47KE across all the social media platforms, or you could send us a text with the number 22047. Thank you for joining us on this second bit of the segment, where I'm joined by Victor Agandi, who's the pay-as-you-go business lead for Greenlight Planet, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome. Okay, right. Before we now get to discuss what the pay-as-you-go business platform is all about, just give us a brief introduction of what Greenlight is and Sun King, the brand under Greenlight Planet.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this show. Greenlight Planet is a company that powers the life for underserved people. So what we do is that we design, distribute high quality solar products that go in hand in helping the people who are staying in the off-grid or semi-off-grid population to be able to get energy and also entertainment.
Yeah. All right, so you've been able to get the opportunity to visit different places, and I want to believe most of these places that you visit are families that come from a low income background, so to say, right? Just before you actually tell us how you've been able to impact these people, how bad is the situation on the ground in terms of people who are connected to the grid?
I would say that it's actually worse off. Previously, I didn't think it's bad until I joined Greenlight Planet, where we now, through our channel of Direct to Village, what we're calling DTV, we are able to visit some of the rural areas, and it's as far as, or as close as 1 kilometer off a main town. So you move to a main town, let's say Kisumu, Nakuru, and 1 kilometer away from the CBD centers, you start getting people with intermittent supply of electricity. And these are one of our main customers. And as you move deeper, it gets worse, and you get customers who are actually using wood for lighting. They're using wood to study as a source of light. So it's actually a bad situation.
All right. Yeah. Now, when you get into what you want to discuss today, which is the pay-as-you-go business platform, a big number of people opt for this. Yeah. But again, if you actually read onto the pay-as-you-go, you understand there's a major challenge, which is the upfront cost. Sure. And I want to believe this is something that not so many people understand what it's all about. So maybe would you kindly break down to us what challenge is in terms of pay as you go with regards to the upfront cost? Just kindly break it down so that.
Okay. So let me just start from how they started. So previously we were selling to our customer products on cash basis. Yeah. So this means that we'll walk into a customer's house and sell a $4 product or a $10, $100 product on cash. Yeah. This became very difficult. So after a lot of deliberation and some certain kind of technological advancement, we were able to come up with a process where we can enable a customer to pay a certain down payment as low as 8% of the cost of the product and pay the rest in very, very small bits. And the small bits can be less than even 20 shillings a day. Right. So what happens is that we look at the cost of our product, we analyze the credit worthiness of our customer, and we are able to come up with a price. So if we talk about a product that is like, let's say 10,000 shillings, our customer is able to get this by paying as low as 1,000 shillings. And then the rest of the balance, they're able to pay them over a period of between 9 to almost 12 months, as low as 45 shillings per day. So we have also calculated how much these particular customers who are buying a product that has almost 3 lighting points normally use in their households. So we find these customers are people who use kerosene of more than 25 shillings to 30 shillings a day. And that only gives them 1 or 2 lighting points. So we're able to give them 3 lighting points of clean lighting without all the fumes and all the effects of kerosene lamps. And they're able to pay this kind of installments every day. Yeah. And the good thing about pay as you go is that after doing all these kind of payments for the 9 months of the flexible payment, you end up owning the product. You unlock the product. So it means that it becomes your personal property. And if you pay well, for example, you buy a basic product and your payment pattern is good, what you call that you have a very good credit portfolio, we're able to upgrade you into more high-end products, TV systems, for example. We're able to cross-sell to you solar tanks. We're able to give you clean cooking stoves. So it's an endless opportunity for the customers. Yeah.
Okay, now just 2 quick things before we move into the products of the pay-as-you-go, which is the Easy Buy, is that a critical issue when dealing with renewable energy is that initially not so many people were receptive of the idea, because I want to believe you've handled families that are like, okay, when are we going to be connected to the grid.
Sure.
Is that a conversation that still goes on?
Yeah, it still goes on, and most of the families that we've met are people who have been given promises, and some of them have gone ahead and paid certain down payments to whatever supplier that they had, and their promises have not been met. That's one. And secondly, the families that have already had the grid, some of them still feel that it's a little bit costly compared to what we're giving them. So that those two kind of discussions that we have. But through a network of over 5,000 agents, we're able to meet so many families every day. And they're well trained to be able to discuss with these families what are the benefits of solar versus, let's say, using kerosene, or maybe waiting for grid for the unforeseeable future.
Now, another issue is that when you talk to different people across different places, it's that Kenyans, a bigger majority of Kenyans, people want to believe that a bigger majority of Kenyans are woke in terms of them being well versed with technical issues and stuff like that. But I want to believe that when you go down to the ground there, the level of digital literacy is super low. As Sun King, how have you been able to bridge that gap between the people? Because I want to believe the products themselves also require them to be digital literate, so to say, for them to operate them. How have you been able to bridge that gap and ensure your products serve people who are not well versed technologically?
Yeah, so of course I know the word outside there is that most Kenyans are not really digitally literate. But looking at connectivity in Kenya, mobile connectivity or penetration is more than, I think, 80-90%. So most of the families have mobile phones, and they're able to reach over 20,000 mobile money outlets. So first, the payment platform is covered. The other thing is that we have to train our customers on how to pay. So for example, let me just show you for the product.
We actually had some goods over here. He's made us come for them right now. Do you get both of them?
No, this one is okay.
This is okay.
So for example, this is called the Sun King Boom. So it's on a pay-as-you-go platform, and that is why you can see it has buttons. So when a customer pays, the normal way you pay for, let's say, send money to a pay bill platform. So we have to train them how to pay to the pay bill platform. Once they pay, they get a code. What do you call a key code? It's like a token. So those tokens, they have to punch them into these easy numbers that you see here. They're all labeled 1920. So this is easy for the customer actually to punch and be able to feed in the codes. Once they feed in the codes, it will actually enumerate and tell them that the amount of money you've paid is for a particular day. So it's a very easy to use technology, and the interface is very friendly for most of our customers. As we understand that they'll be in the village, the rural folks, so we had to make very easy kind of display for the customers to use.
But just before we actually now go into the Sun King, you've called this the Sun King Boom,
Sun King Boom,
The Boom, right? There's also another one that we have with us over here, which are to believe
the Sun King Pro.
The Sun King Pro. So this, from the name Pro, it's a classic or something?
Yeah, it's a classic. The lighting is very intense. So
okay, fine. So these are two different products that we have with us. Before we go into this, tell us something little about this Sun King Pro.
And Boom. So these are what we call our entry-level lanterns. So any kind of customer we meet, we normally call them the mama mbogas on the roadside, selling vegetables on the roadside. You can actually meet them and sell to them this kind of light on a go. Meaning that if I meet them today and I find them with one source of light of a lantern, I can do a quick math with them and tell them that with this Sun King Pro, if you were to give me 400 shillings, I'll leave it with you. And every day you have to pay only 25 shillings. So this woman will look at how clean the environment will be. Let's say they're selling fish or vegetables. They don't want to put lanterns close to fish. Customers will run away because of the smoke and everything. So this is a very super affordable product. It's one of our entry-level products, and the down payment is very low. So 400 shillings will be very easy for them to afford, and telling them to pay 45 shillings every day is super easy. So this is one of them, and they'll have to pay for, let's say, 8 months and on the product. So after 8 months, they have very good lighting, and it's clean. If you're going to buy from their merchandise, you're able to burn and choose without being intoxicated or them burning the product. So this is the Sun King Pro, very entry level. So this is the Sun King Boom. It is a Pro, but with a radio.
Oh yeah.
So that's the boom part. So it keeps booming as you sell. So assuming that you also you're running a butchery, you're running a kinyozi somewhere in the village, you're able to create your source of lighting. At the same time, you're able to listen to music. So that's the difference between the two. So this is like an upgrade of the Sun King Pro. So basically, it will be a little bit. There's a little bit of markup, but you're able to get your FM here. You're able to have MP3. You're able to put your flash disk here if you have some external source of music and listen as you still have your lighting points. And maybe you'll ask me what is the use of this black stand. So this is a very multi-purpose stand. You can use it as a table stand when you're lighting your reading, or you're studying in the house, reading your newspaper, you're cooking. Also, you can use this as a hanger, and let's say somewhere in your roof, and use it to suspend it on top, so that you're able to get a 360 view of the whole line.
All right.
Yeah.
And what's the battery life for this? So once I charge it, how long can it serve me?
So if you charge it full, these are lights that can, depending on different modes. So if you look at this light has so many modes.
Also it keeps on increasing
so
as you tap it.
yeah, if I keep the low mode, I can even get more than 12 24 hours. If I go lower, I can get maybe 16 hours. If I get the high mode, I can get 8 hours. So depending on which mode you like. And as the battery goes depleting itself, the modes keep on changing.
Oh, we just
to
have to
give you
so that we see how it
is the first mode, which is the low mode, then the medium mode, then the turbo mode, which is the highest mode.
Okay. Yeah. And this, as you said earlier on, is the brightest. And
So
this one lights the brightest.
Yeah. So it also has 3 modes.
All right. Yeah. All right. Fine.
Very transformative. Very interesting.
I can see some good stuff over there.
Yeah.
All right. So before we actually move away from this, is that when you talk of this Sunken Boom, you've mentioned it has an MP3 and it has a radio.
Yeah.
Normally, people who are connected to the grid,
yeah,
when lights are low or when people are experiencing issues with electricity, the radio devices and the TV sets are usually the sets that are able to work, meaning they consume the least amount of energy. In this case, does it apply to the same?
The same also. In fact, this is actually more super conservative because it's integrated. So the battery technology here, which is the lithium ferrous phosphate, is actually a very high-end kind of battery. You might actually compare it to what you have on the iPhones. So the battery here is able to hold more power, and you asked one thing about the lifespan of this battery.
Yeah.
We can give you more than 5 years service-free.
Nice.
So after 5 years, when you can now maybe come to one of our shops, which we have over 80 shops in Kenya, you can visit a shop and you can actually get your battery maintained. But for the first 5 years, free maintenance. And they're able to keep charge as long as you want. You can use it for lighting at the same time, listen to your radio and still get your minimum 8 hours when you're on turbo mode.
Okay. Now, maybe we just, I don't know, we can just put this away.
Yeah.
All right, so when we talk of Greenlight Planet, just recently there was, you concluded you're one of the major sponsors and partners of the Global Off-Grid Solar Forum and Expo 2020.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us some of the key issues that were highlighted in this forum and what the future is in terms of renewable energy? Because last year, Kenya wanted to achieve full efficiency in terms of green energy by the end of 2020. Just highlight some of the issues that were discussed, and from your angle and where you're sitting from, is that a possibility?
Yes, depending on how aggressive most companies are. So, for example, let me talk about Kenya and Greenlight Planet as in Kenya alone. So, when we started in 2010, we've sold over 2 million lamps in Kenya alone. And that if you look at families, that is over. If you look at a house that has 5 people, that's over 10 million lives.
Yeah.
Meaning that for every 10 people, one person has ever used a solar lantern. If you look at statistics, we sell over 40,000 lanterns a month. Meaning that for every day or every second, there's a transaction that goes on. Right? So that is how impactful a company can be.
Yeah.
And if you look at the number of last mile entrepreneurs, what we're calling the agents, we have over 5,000 of them.
Right.
Over 80 shops. So if you look, if all companies maybe can go into that kind of level and be aggressive as maybe Greenlight has been in terms of serving the underserved communities, then I believe this kind of targets are achievable.
Yeah.
If you look at Gogla, what you just mentioned, Gogla, apart from just private companies having a discussion on the way forward, also we have government entities coming on board, and we have financials, we have investors coming on board, and it was a very good forum for us to discuss which is the way forward. And one of the things that I found out is that there's so much interest in solar energy, and the government is pumping in so much.
Yeah.
For example, there's the government has pumped in money through the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program, which is called CoOp. And the president was there actually to talk about it. And these are the areas where the government also comes in and partners with private organizations or private companies like Greenlight Planet to ensure that we reach these kind of milestones. So through these kind of private partnerships with investors and maybe other partners, and also government coming in, the World Bank, are sure that these kind of goals are achievable.
All right. Yeah. Now, if you actually talk of business, one thing that's usually talked about a lot is monopoly.
Yeah.
You get the people who are connected to the grid, or companies that might actually want to come into the market and provide an option, complain of monopoly. And when you talk of this, you talk of Kenya Power. There have been talks that there's a monopoly, it's kind of traded, it's kind of controlled and all that kind of stuff. As Sun King under the renewable energy sector, do you experience such things? How is the business environment for you as a renewable energy company?
What I'd say is that Currently, I think Kenya Power have their own clients, and of course, for them is about electrification and most likely very accessible customers. As solar companies, we are first targeting inaccessible customers.
Right.
We're looking at the deep rural areas where the terrains are very rough. We're looking at areas where you cannot actually, they're not motorable. So our company, through the agents that we have, they're able to penetrate into these very, very tough environments and actually meet Kenya Power halfway.
Yeah.
So we know that they have a mandate, and we've been attending so many forums together with Kenya Power and the Rural Electrification Program, what is now transformed into REREC, and they're able to give us their missions.
Right.
What are they planning to do? At the same time, as solar companies, we know where we're headed to in terms of what are the customers that we're targeting.
Yeah.
And I believe it's moved from a monopoly to a joint venture into how do we get the last mile person having connectivity.
All right. Yeah. Now, the field, this renewable energy field that you're in, the pay-as-you-go platform, it's kind of like a newly introduced strategy, and people are slowly and slowly being receptive of it. You have other players in the market, the likes of Azuri, who are also trying to achieve the same with the pay-as-you-go. As a business, as Sun King under the Greenlight Planet, what was the target? What your pay-as-you-go strategy? What's the niche that you came in to attack? Because as a new business coming into an entity, you have to offer something fresh for you to get that edge. What's that fresh thing that comes with Sun King?
I think maybe different companies have their different approaches to the market. For us, it's basically we started from the lanterns, the super affordable lights. Right. And we used to have the Sun King Pico, which was more than a $10 product. And we've moved up the ladder with our customers and created a lot of loyalty, customer service. And I mentioned about the number of agents we have. This ensures that we have so many agents in the village so that they can be able to interact. So in one radius of maybe 8 kilometers, we have more than 2 or 3 agents who are able to constantly get in touch with their customers and talk to them. So creating this kind of communities and rapport with our customers, we'll be able to create our own customer bases. Right. And the same customers that we started with selling to them entry-level products are the ones who have been upgrading into now the newly launched Sun King TV that we have. Yeah. So we've been able to move our customers up the ladder from the Pico, which was a portable small light, to now 4 points of light, the home systems, and now TV systems. So I believe every company, draws their own lines, and that's how we've been able to achieve what we've achieved so far.
Right. Now, when you talk of growth for business to actually move from one point to another since its inception, a big part of it is diversification, of actually innovating in other different products. As Sun King, do you have plans, or is there any other thing that you're working on as a company so that you diversify and actually create a more playing ground for you, so to say?
So currently what I've mentioned is that we start our customers from a very low base. We first enter into the system, we start analyzing how you pay, and as you keep on paying well, we grow you into maybe a smaller light, which is a portable one, to maybe a home system that has three lighting points. From that point also, you continue paying maybe 8 to 9 months. We look at your credit portfolio, then we grow you into a bigger lighting system. So for example, right now we have the Sun King TV, which we have from the 19-inch to 32-inch TV. These are TV systems have free-to-air built-in digital receivers. You can use it, you can use it with the terrestrial, which is the aerial, what people call the antennas. Yeah. And also you can put satellite. If you're going to put GoTV, you want to put what do you call it, StarTimes, you can actually connect that. Right. So our customers are able to move that. So that is one of the innovative products that we launched last year. Yeah. And apart from that, we can also upgrade you across other products that we are also launching. We are bundling our products with cookstoves. We are bundling our products with maybe things like water tanks. We are giving customers array. So we want that when you walk into a customer's house, everything is green, from their lighting, their cooking, the entertainment system. So I think it's actually endless what you can do in this kind of space.
All right, Victor Gandhi, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you picked something from discussion with Victor Gandhi. He's been here talking about matters renewable energy. And before we wrap things up, let's take a look at the Did You Know segment. Right, it's interesting, super interesting facts there from the Did You Know segment, and it's always very critical for you as a business person to analyze things before you actually jump into them. So imagine if Google would have actually sold their company, then it would have been something there for them, right? All right, thank you for joining me this afternoon on the Day's Counter. As usual, I've been your host, Allan Owino, for the midweek session. Thank you for staying with us. Coming right up next is Sheena Lopeo by our very own Salome Miriri. Don't go away. Stay with us right here on TV47. Until next time, you have yourself a lovely week.
So